Pelham Panther fans, it's time for Panther Pulse, brought to you by Golden Rule Barbecue and Grill and Joseph Chambers, your State Farm insurance agent in Pelham. Now live from Golden Rule Barbecue and Grill in the Pelham Town Center, here's the voice of the Pelham Panthers, Justin Foster.
And welcome in to Golden Rule Barbecue and Grill. It is that time again. Tuesday night means it's time for the Panther Pulse here as we recap another heart stopper on Friday night for the Pelham Panthers. Good evening, everybody. Justin Foster here with Caleb Turrentine. And Caleb, I know you missed it initially, but we're catching our breath after a 14-13 victory over Stanhope Elmore, and sort of your thoughts here as we begin to recap the week that was.
Well, I tuned in there at the very end of the game, so I got to listen to your call. And to be honest, when I heard 50-30, I thought you were skipping yards because you were just so downtrodden. You're like, oh, there's no one in front of him. There's no one going to catch him. I thought it was over. And then all of a sudden you said he was down inside the 5, and it was a very confusing play to listen to on the radio, okay? I promise you that. You did a great job, though.
I was shell-shocked. I think all of us were shell-shocked on that final play. And we will we'll recap that and that game, as well as look ahead to this Friday. And, yes, we can feel the electricity as it is Helena week. Helena comes to the Hill Friday night for a huge region matchup. And we welcome in now Coach Tom Causey. Coach Causey, great to have you back and in the flesh here after a couple weeks not here.
Well, you know, I missed the show for 2 weeks and missed a game. That was the first game in 29 years I've missed. And that was one of the hardest things in the world I've ever had to do. And I missed our kids. I missed our coaches. I missed you guys. And I am such a creature of habit, and I think you do something for 29 years straight and you do it every day, you know what Monday's supposed to be like, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then you're not doing those things. That was tough, man. But our coaches did a fantastic job. Our leadership on our team did a fantastic job, and I was really, really glad to be back here with the team last week.
Before we jump into the Stanhope game, just talk us through it. I mean, what did you do to keep yourself sane when you knew you couldn't be at the field?
A lot of film, a lot of texting. I wore our coaches out. I texted our seniors. I needed them to know where I was at and what I was doing and what I was thinking about and how I was thinking about them. And a lot of communication that thank goodness today we have the ability to do that. You know, I was almost getting instantaneous film. Coach Fordham did a heck of a job getting me the film just like that. And I could get notes back to those guys, and then they were relaying it to our players. So it was tough. But with the technology, it made it a heck of a lot easier.
Did you manage to hand off more things than usual, or were you able to do that?
Everybody. We got such good coaches that they all did a great job. We didn't have a head coach there per se, and every one of them took on extra duties, and they got it done, man. I mean, it was a home game, and you know I'm blessed to only have to teach a couple of classes during the day, so I have a little more time to get everything kind of set up at the stadium on game day. Those guys are teaching core classes up in the school, and they manage that and getting the stadium ready for game night. And I'll be eternally grateful to them for that.
And I know we talked about it last week with Coach Talbert, but just your thoughts on the victory over Calera.
Well, you know, in the last 2 weeks and really all season long, we had a really good night offensively against Mortimer Jordan, but we started so dang slow. Our defensive coaches and players have done a heck of a job. Coach Lauderdale up front with our defensive line, Coach Hall at inside linebacker coach, Coach Collins at outside linebacker, Coach Clemens at the safeties, Coach Ellsbury at the corners, and Coach Talbert, obviously our defensive coordinator. Those guys have been so consistent all year long, and the last 2 weeks they've kept us in ball games for really 48 minutes. And giving us a chance to win. They've made tackles inside our 5 in the last 2 games on the last play of the game to win the ball game. So that's my job. And I knew I never had any doubt. I probably had more doubt in the first half than I did the second. Once our kids got to playing, you could feel the energy through the radio you guys were doing. I knew we had a chance, and they went out and won the game.
Well, you stay calm. My job's not to, and I lost my voice. I couldn't talk until that Sunday after the Calera game. So let's move on to Stanhope.
Sure.
First game back, your habit. What was that like, kind of adjusting midweek?
Yeah, it was really weird. You know, you come in and you have a really work day practice on Wednesday, and then on Thursday is a more buttoning everything up kind of deal. And Wednesday morning's practice was over, and I kind of looked up and went, God almighty, it's game day. And I just got to school. And so that was really strange. And having a road game and it being our first road game, and that was everything we had to do. I felt like I was a day late and a dollar short the end of the week, just getting everything ready to go.
Yeah, I know we want to talk about the end of this game, and we're going to get to that, but at least for the first half, it was another kind of slow, low-scoring first half. Y'all had that, I guess kind of 3 weeks in a row, aside from Kobe Prentice. But
sure.
We talked about the defense coming into the year. Do you think that experience has played a role in those kind of games where it's really close and tight?
I do. Me and Mr. Pritchett were talking earlier. When this group of seniors were 10th graders and our group of juniors were 9th graders, we were 3-8. And we lost 4 or 5 games that year, just like we've won the last 2 weeks. And I think that experience as 9th and 10th graders being on the field for us during those games, and then being losses, honestly, helps you to win those games down the road. And I think the maturity level of our defensive football team has helped. They try to do exactly what the coaches do, and our coaches give them the opportunity to go be players as well. And, Jamal Miles is the one who made that play, but there was guys all over the field that night making plays, and Jamal's effort was unreal. He's 40 yards away, and that's their fastest guy. He's got the ball in his hands. He's already scored on a quick screen earlier in the game where he ran away from us, and it's do or die, and Jamal went and made the play.
A much different game and opponent. I mean, Calera, more about the speed. Stanhope, more about the size and beat you up. How'd you feel about the way we came out against Stanhope and a different opponent?
Well, it's like you said, I think they were doing a little bit of trying to keep it away from us, and I think that had something to do with the rhythm of our offense as well. But, they're huge up front, and they got a big running back, and their quarterback runs it, throws it well enough to scare you because they got some guys on the edge that can go get it. But I think that was their game plan, to come in and bang it, and let's shorten this ball game and let's keep it close. And they did a really good job of that, and our defense did a great job in the third quarter getting us the ball back, and unfortunately we turned it over. And we were really blessed to win a ball game where we lose a turnover battle. We were -3 and they were -2, so we were -1 for the game. So those turnovers happened right there in the third quarter when we got a 14-7 lead. And if we just take one of those turnovers, go down the field and score, it's probably over. But we didn't, and we turned it over, and our defense bowed their neck a couple times, and they popped one. So I think that was part of their game plan, to bang it on us, and we got two different styles of play in 2 weeks, and I think our guys adjusted to it pretty well.
Yeah, you said there were only 5 turnovers. It felt like there were about 12 of them in a 10-play span right there.
Well, and there was 3 and 4 plays.
Yeah.
We had a fumble, and then they fumbled it right back, and then we run a play and then fumbled it right back to them, and then 2-3 plays later, they're in the end zone. It's 14-13. So, and we got our drive going right there, and I think we ended up punting and then running it going for it on 4th down right before the staying alive play to keep them in the game. But I think if we press a little bit more in the third quarter and go get a score, that game probably could be 28-7.
First half, kind of all about Antonio Trone, their running back, who very impressive. Second half, more about Gabe Gamble.
Yeah.
He gets so much better in that second half. Do you think shutting Trone down in the second half was our defense used to being against Gabe?
Well, and I think that helps, no doubt. But I think what happened was we got them out of rhythm. We took 2 long drives, 6, 8 play, 10 play drives, go down the field and score, and they had their hands on their hips. Their offense standing on their sidelines, not playing and not snapping the ball, and then they were required to come back and get that motor started, and they really didn't until we turned it back over to them. But I think it had more to do that in the second half was us disrupting their rhythm, and they did the same thing to us in the first half.
Let's go to that last sequence. Corey Perkins intercepts a pass late, looks to be close to being ball game.
Sure.
From that point on, what was sort of the mindset, offense with the ball?
We want to get 2-3 first downs and end this thing. We knew they had 2 timeouts, and I don't know if you guys remember during that drive, we'd run the power, and Gabe's about to pop it, and he gets his toe caught on BJ's heel as BJ's making a block, trips and falls on second down. I don't know if he scores, But I think we're down inside their 20, and that thing's over right there. But that's the difference in that little half inch, of being a touchdown or being third down and us going forward on fourth down. But and give